Thanks, Sue. How to not get the giggles on a Friday afternoon while doing videos. I don't think this is, but it's a thought. All right. As I fix my hairdo and clear my throat, jump up and down. I already did that. You're not going to see that. The topic for today is my work as a certified divorce financial analyst. So that's the part of my work that none of my clients really want to volunteer for. But in any given year, about 30 to 50% of my work is with families who are separating and divorcing. And so when I do that work with their financials, I'm really doing 3 things in 2 time periods so that clients can make a decision. So the 3 things that I do for them are organize, explain, and anchor their information. And the 2 time periods that I'm working with really are today and tomorrow. So let me just explain that a little bit. When we talk about organizing your information, that's all of the data collection. What do you have? What do you owe? What does your income look like? What is it made up of? And where is it coming from? Okay, so getting all of those documents together can be a challenge and it takes some time. And we're really in a separation looking at 2 time periods. So the time that the relationship started to the date that you've chosen that the relationship ended, because we need to know what happened during the relationship to both what you owned and what you owe. So that's the organizing part. We're going to get all of that together. Then I'm going to explain that. All right, so some of the numbers on either a financial statement or what's known as a net family property statement, sometimes they don't exactly line up with what's on the statement, and that can be confusing for people. And so it's important to me that when you're in that situation, that you understand why the numbers are there, or why are we talking about that, or why are we using this number when the statement says that. So there's lots of reasons that the numbers are going to differ. And so it's important to me, again, that you understand that before you start making decisions. And then we're going to anchor those numbers. So what does that mean for you? And sometimes as clients in that situation, we can lose track of the big picture, right? So when I talk about anchoring, my goal for you is to have you anchor on your entire situation. And often at different points in the process, as clients, we're going to anchor on one thing and then the rest of it gets out of whack. So let me give you an example. One of my clients, when we first started working together, she would say every once in a while, well, he thinks he's going to keep his whole pension, and he's not. We're dividing things. We're separating. And I would have to remind her that she wanted to keep the property that they owned as a family. So she was living in the family home. And so I would say, but remember, you're keeping this part. If you would like to share in this part, then we have to talk about dividing the home. If sharing the pension is important to you, then we're going to redo some calculations to figure out how you're going to pay him out for part of the home, right? And so part of her knew that, but she had anchored on him saying that he didn't want to divide his pension. And because the home was so close to her heart, she kind of really saw that as hers and forgot that we were talking about the whole picture and dividing everything. So it took a little bit of time for her to remember, oh, right, if I am going to keep all of this thing, numerically, he does really get to keep all of that thing. So again, just that idea of what does our whole picture look like? And then making sure that you're anchored on the whole thing, that we've organized, explained, and you've anchored on the whole thing so that you can make decisions. And so the today part is really about making decisions about your assets, right? What do you own minus what you owe? That's the property that's going to be divided. So that's a lot of the today decisions. When we talk about the tomorrow decisions, those are really the am I going to have enough? And about 80% of my clients, when they come to me, whether they're separation families or non-separation families, 80% of my work in a year revolves around clients needing help understanding just the day-to-day, month-to-month ins and outs of their bank accounts, right? So income and expenses. Why do we feel like we're running short? It feels like we have a lot piling up in our bank account. So all of those kind of day-to-day things of money flow that clients either don't understand or they don't like and they need adjustments. And remember, that's on a regular day. So 80% of my work with non-separation families is around those daily money flow questions. During a separation, that's not a regular day. So remember, probably both of you came into this separation period not fully understanding your finances, and now you're being asked to make decisions. So we've got uncertainty on top of uncertainty. And so that's where in the separation process, sometimes people start, it feels like somebody's digging in their heels. And really what can be happening is the person who's either paying support or maybe giving up some assets that they've held for a very long time, they're feeling like they're digging in their heels because they're just thinking, I can't afford that. When what they mean is, I don't understand my picture, and now you're asking me to pay for something else or give something else up, and I don't even understand what it is now, so I'm just going to say, no, I can't afford that. And on the receiver's end, so the person receiving support or the person maybe getting full control of an asset that they haven't had full control over, again, they're going in not understanding. And so that sense of when we were together, maybe it didn't feel like enough, or I didn't really understand what things were going to look like long-term. And now I just have this feeling of we're separating, we're ripping everything in half. So if the whole wasn't enough, surely half can't be enough. So the only things I know how to say are either I can't afford it or it's not enough, I need more, right? So that's where we get this kind of polarization, or it feels like the other one's digging in their heels unreasonably. And so that's where, again, as a certified divorce financial analyst, I'm going to work with you and we're going to organize, explain, and anchor again. And this is more around income, or this is more around how can you use the assets that you've chosen in a separation to generate income, or the assets that you've chosen in separation, do they have expenses attached to them? If you've chosen to keep a house, buy a new house, keep a cottage, buy a new cottage, something like that, we've got expenses associated with those assets. It costs money to own them. So that's where, again, we're going to do those three things. We're going to organize, what income do you have? What taxes are you paying? What money is actually left over that you can control? And then we're going to go through and look at your expenses, the ones that we can pin down. I've got a way to help you sort out how much do you need. The traditional method of budgeting, where you track everything you spend, I don't find that that works for most people. In a 19-year career, I've worked with about 7 clients out of hundreds that actually use that method. So most of us need something slightly different, and we can certainly talk about that. So when we're looking at organizing, anchoring, and explaining for tomorrow, that's how you're going to understand, how am I okay coming out of this? And how are the amounts that we're talking about in that separation discussion? What options do I have? What's affordable? What's not? So that's really my role in the separation. So again, it's those 3 things: organizing, explaining, and anchoring on the whole situation for both today. So right in that separation period when you're agreeing to divide assets, and the tomorrow piece of once you've agreed, or here are the options, here's how each one of them looks for you in the future when you're on your own. That's how it helps you to make decisions that will leave you financially stable after the separation. So if you've had any questions as I'm talking, or if you've got a situation that you feel that you need help with, I'm happy to talk with you further about that. I look forward to hearing from you.